We stayed there for a week. We were hardly given any food. There was nowhere to wash. There was nowhere to any facilities of bathrooms.
No bathroom facilities.
They let us go only in a place where it was a big hole, and you just went there to whatever you had to do. No water. And if this wasn't enough, almost every night, Germans and Lithuanians used to come in and take out women, younger women, rape them, sometimes throw them back, and sometimes you never saw them again. And that was for 7 nights, 7 days and 7 nights that we struggled there to be together and hide each other. My mother was constantly sleeping over my oldest sister. To cover her, they shouldn't see her. And this is how she escaped from that disaster, not to be raped there. What happened to the men, we didn't know at this point. Until the 7th day, they told us to go home. We could all go home because they're going to open up a ghetto and we're going to be all put into a ghetto, so they don't need us there anymore. It was closed up with wires all around us, and there were Lithuanians and Lithuanian police and German army always watching us. We couldn't have big and wide apartments or homes, so they pushed us in, sometimes 2 or 3 families in one house. Every couple of weeks something was happening, and it became smaller and smaller, the population. Then they told where we lived, they asked us to move in deeper into the middle of the area because not too many people were left already, so they kept on making smaller the ghetto. Meanwhile, we were still together, and it was a very unusual thing because they didn't touch any of us yet. So we were the 4 daughters, my father and my mother together. Until that big disastrous day, they asked the whole ghetto people get out of their homes. There are many Germans and Lithuanians, and they start making groups. Every family stood together and lined up like that. You kept on coming closer to the Germans' line, and they told you, you go to the left and this goes to the right. And this is how they segregated us. When it came to our line, my grandmother was sent to one side, but our family was sent to all of us together to the other side. So now we're still together, but my grandmother was the first one to go. They asked everybody to get out, and at this point they asked all the men to go on a side, and the women should go back to the trains. And this is when all the men were taken away from us, and my father among them. And the last look on his face, saying, we will meet again. And don't worry, I'll be okay. Just keep yourself alive and we'll meet again. And that was the last time I saw him. Where he was taken at this point, we didn't know. But we wound up in this concentration camp that is called Stutthof. That's where they brought us in. What we had to do is get undressed, leave all our clothes right next to us, completely naked, go into a place where it was a shower. We were throwing over us water, go out to another side, and there they gave us different clothing, whatever you could grab, a pair of shoes, a skirt, a dress, whatever. But it was not ours. Whatever was left there, that wasn't ours. And they assigned on each one of us a number, not tattooed, but just with a pencil, that at least we should know our number. 5429. And then they sent us into barracks. And we stayed there that night. The second day, they asked us, all of us, to get out of the barracks and line up, and they start choosing. Some children were still with us. Children meaning not anymore younger than 8, 9, which my little sister was. And every mother with a little girl like that was put on another line. Knowing that it is going to be taken away from me, I asked the German, can I come along? And he said no. And I said, but I want to go together with my mother and my sister. And he said, no, you cannot. But I said, I do want to be with them. So he gave me he had a stick in his hand, and he gave me over my head. I probably lost my conscience. But when I woke up from it, with a lot of my friends around me, they weren't there anymore. Which took me probably over a year and a half later to find out what really happened to them. They were taken to Auschwitz, to the crematoriums. That was the end of my family starting to fall apart.